And let's be honest here, because this is why we are sitting here. I had moments where I was driving back home and I was crying because I felt not that I belong.
Yeah, and I feel because my business started from place of almost breaking up our family, right? We almost broke our family. I mean, and because I was able to find a way of saving it, my kids are aware. I have a workshop at 9:00 and I'm teaching women how to be an amazing wife and how not to fight with your husband. And I just gotta fight with my husband.
The HeartSeat is a podcast featuring high-impact entrepreneurial women who lead with heart and turn purpose into prosperity. Each episode delivers insight-rich conversations, practical strategy, and a fresh perspective that helps you elevate your impact and lead with the kind of clarity and intention that amplifies your influence. Every conversation is designed to guide you toward a business grounded in purpose, powered by heart, and positioned for growth.
Welcome to the first episode of the HeartSeat Circle. Today, we're with a group of phenomenal entrepreneurial women, and we're here to have true conversations about questions that entrepreneurial women, that those women in this room have asked themselves in private that they rarely say in public. So this is a topic that we think everyone can relate to, and it's going to be raw and real. So let's get started. So I was walking yesterday on my walk, and I thought to myself, in preparation for this first episode, that I have many questions. And I thought, which one will I start with? And the one that came to mind, bubbled up to the top, is that I wonder if I'm really successful, will I be able to handle it? Will it be too much work? I've asked that many times, and I'm sure that there's been times when it's stunted me a little bit because there's that fear of, can I handle it? If this is really successful, who will help me? Will I be working too hard? Will I be able to spend quality time with my family and do the social things I like? And so that fear question has bubbled up numerous times over my 30-year career. Can anyone else relate to that?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I believe that finding that balance, the fear for me is trying to figure out whether or not I should even be in this business. Like, who am I? Who am I to think that I am a expert in this field, right? So again, for me, it's always, am I good enough to do this? Am I smart enough? Am I confident enough? Should I even be in front of the camera or should I be behind the camera? So those are the questions I have. But yeah, the fear in general does come up quite a bit often for me as well.
That to me sounds like something I've experienced, which is imposter syndrome.
Yes.
I mean, there's a lot of people doing what I do. They're in both health and wellness and in community building. And so what makes me special and unique and capable when there's others who have gone before me? So that imposter syndrome does pop up a lot. And by the way, you should be in front of the camera and you are an expert from what I've seen.
And I love that you mentioned it, and really I love it because you always look so confident, and especially when we go to networks or so, there are so many women when they walk and we think they have it all together, they figured it out, and then you talk to them and learn a little bit more about them, and they say like, no, I'm doubting myself every evening, I'm having anxiety, and this is why I love that we talk about this today, and I think it's so important that we really be honest with what we are thinking behind the curtain. And Hartling is really good in terms of opening the hearts, fostering really healthy conversations. So yeah, I like that you started with this, and it shows the entrepreneur journey. Everyone has up like on the roller coaster. Yay, I have it all together. No, right. What is going on here? And so on. So yeah.
The life cycle of the entrepreneur chart. Exactly. One day you're celebrating, I did the best thing. The next day you're like, is that mistake gonna, destroy me? So it's very cool to have these conversations. I already feel relief just being able to say that one out loud.
Oh, absolutely. And I think giving myself permission to make mistakes and giving myself grace for that. It's okay. I make a mistake, pivot or shift, right?
Yeah.
And for me, it's not failure, it's a growth. It's a learning experience from that experience, whatever that so-called mistake was. I believe every mistake that I've made, I have learned and grown and become a better entrepreneur. And then collectively sharing that with other women who started where I started. And then now it's like, okay, how did you do this? How did you do this? Now that you're online now, so women are asking those questions. How do you get started? I think that's a big question. How do you get started?
How did you start it? Because I know that your business, I would say maybe not a young entrepreneur, but your business is 2 years old. So how did you start?
So prior to starting my business, I actually taught. I was a middle school and a high school teacher. And as a mom of 5, I have always tried to find holistic skincare, holistic habits in order to really allow my family to thrive. And one day, my sister-in-law introduced me to tallow as skincare. And after that, I was just hooked. And I started making it for myself, my family, and then, sharing with our extended family and friends. And after that, I realized I have something here and this needs to be shared with other people. So
were there moments where, like Anne said, where you said you're going home, you doubt yourself? Were there some moments for you as well where you can relate to?
Oh, yes, absolutely. I feel like I doubt myself at least once a day because as an entrepreneur and a mom, there are so many hats we wear every day.
Yeah.
In the morning, I'm the chef. In the afternoon, maybe someone has a boo-boo. Someone is, I'm the hostage negotiator if my kids are fighting. And then at the same time, I wear the founder hat and my business. And so at any moment, self-doubt and that critiquing creeps in. But I always circle back to what's my mission?
Yeah.
Who am I trying to help? Who am I trying to serve? And that it's not about me. It's about those who would really benefit from all natural skincare and don't know about it.
So you mentioned you have 5 kids. Yola, you have 3 kids, right?
3,
Yeah.
yes.
Oh my God. How do you manage? I would be interested.
It's a challenge sometimes. It's a challenge, especially because my biggest question is always, is it worth it? Right? Is it worth to be a driven, entrepreneurial type woman who has a family, who has 2 businesses to manage? Where is it going to land? Am I going to be able to split myself into the different parts? I would love to clone myself. Would you?
Yes.
Right? I would love to clone myself and be able to be everywhere. And when that question comes up, I remind myself that my mission is bigger than I am. And because I do business, my kids watch me. So they learn from me. And it's pretty amazing because when I'm passionate about something, I want to share it. And when I share with them, they really get into my life and they want to know, Mom, who did you talk to today? Was she from Panama? When you start coaching people. So it's absolutely amazing. I feel like it's adding to my life. It's enriching my life versus taking away, even though sometimes they're hard days. But overall, I feel like it's a positive.
My boys are all in their 20s now. I have 3 sons. And I felt that way when they were young. I mean, I have to admit, there were a few times when I forgot that it was early out day and they were waiting in the office for a few hours before I got there. I was involved in a lot between all the things at the school, the PTAs, the foundations, my corporate job, and my health and wellness job at the time. I look back and I look currently at them now. I used to feel, okay, someone else is taking care of my kids. Another mom is driving my kids to soccer. Another, time again today when I wasn't as present as I wanted to be. That was when I was in the corporate world. So then I shifted and was able to stay home and create something that I could build around my family instead of hiding in closets trying to get away from the kids when I was on the phone. Right. But looking at them today, they say things now that make me realize that they were watching and that they learned about perseverance.
Yes.
They learned about being a mom that stood behind her word and a mom that felt confidence that she could create something and serve others. Like you said, Mitch, that part of me was big too, like making a difference and leaving a legacy. And I do feel now, and they'll say things sometimes that make me realize they were really listening, and it's built the resilience and the confidence in their ability to create things and do things too. My oldest is 28 and he's a professional musician. And I shared with him actually just recently that you're an entrepreneur just like I am. And so he's seen and watched the things, marketing, business acumen, commitment, consistency, all those things that he's building into his business now. And my other boys will too. So I totally relate with you. And I agree exactly with what you said, that we are teaching by modeling, for our kids how to stand behind our word and be, make something a success that serves other people.
Yeah, and I feel because my business started from place of almost breaking up our family, right? We almost broke our family. I mean, and because I was able to find a way of saving it. My kids are aware. They all know my story. They all know what was happening because I share that openly. Yeah. Because I want to help other families, especially the ones with the little children. And they realize how important it is. So now when they see us hugging and smooching with my husband, they watch. And I if I worked late, I would say, I want this for other families too. Yeah. I want other kids to be as happy as you are because you are watching us being in love and supporting each other, taking care of you guys. So they're like, yeah, Mom, you need to go save the ladies. You need to go save them. Good job, Mom. Good job.
I love it.
It's fantastic. They're my biggest cheerleaders.
Yeah, not only this, that you are a relationship coach, you also work with your husband, in his clinic, and then he's an amazing surgeon. Yeah. So how is it to work with your husband, actually?
This is very interesting because I worked with him in the past, and then we almost fell apart. The business was a big part of actually us kind of falling apart. Yeah. And when I received coaching, became a coach, and we're still kind of living two separate pathways, right? Like his business, my business. Yeah. And now it's like this beautiful full circle because now I still do my business, but I also work with him. But I work with him from such a different place, like respect and just support for each other, where I can be myself, I can self-realize myself, but I can also support him. And we can grow together. So our kids are totally experiencing a completely different relationship than they would have if I have never gone through the program, if I have never become a coach. It's so much better for them.
That's wonderful.
The question I would have is, do you coach your family? Or do you...
That's hard.
Yeah.
Hard. So there's a lot of dynamic.
Yes.
For sure. There's a lot of dynamic.
Yes, there is. Do you coach your family?
I wouldn't say coach. I'd like to say I give advice. Yeah. My husband, partner, we've been together for 16, 17 years, and I actually was his yoga instructor. Ooh. So there's a story behind that.
He was teacher's pet.
Yeah. Actually, he was my worst student.
Okay, you're not watching, are you?
Shout out to Richard. Okay.
No, he knows. He will absolutely admit it. What's interesting is in the beginning, he wasn't sure what I was because it's like, oh, are you a yoga instructor, wellness coach? What are you? And over the years, I think it's just, I wasn't like giving him advice. I was taking care of myself. So I think as I took care of myself, then he saw how I was getting healthy, or I am healthy. And then he started asking questions. And so I didn't force anything on him. Once he started asking questions, then I offered, well, this is what I do, would you like to try? And then that's when it started with probiotics, yoga, essential oils, and other things. So now he's like my guinea pig. Anytime I try something new with a wellness product. But he's very, very open. And so is my daughter.
So receptive.
So is my daughter. My daughter's very open.
My husband's been a guinea pig on quite a few things too. I obviously am very exposed to a lot of different modalities, and he could tell you some stories of things that he's tried that are very interesting. So I'm thankful that we have open husbands that way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So I'm wondering about you, Sabine. What question do you ask yourself in private that hasn't been exposed in public yet?
So I'm originally from Germany. So what we learned there, you push through. But how long do you push through before you really say, this is not what aligns with me? And I'm 56 now, and at the age of 38, everything changed for me. And I had my own company with my husband, so I can relate, 102 employees, and I was the CEO, but I was never in my heart a CEO. I just functioned, and 3 strokes later, I said no, I need to pivot. And I pivoted completely, and with what I'm doing now and all the modalities I acquired over the last 17 years, I'm very happy where I am. But this was a critical moment, and I'm very conscious about, am I aligned to a decision? I've learned so much more about my body, I cannot tell you. So I do not see the stroke as a villain. I see it actually as my best friend.
Yes.
Just reminding me, Sabine, this is not your purpose in life. You should do something else.
Yes.
And this is what I'm doing. I'm listening to my body. I'm very self-conscious. This is why I have a health company as well, beside the coaching company. And I love to help people holistically. And I look at people holistically. That's really important, because we cannot dissect each other, because we just heard, I'm a mom, I'm a businesswoman, I'm a partner, I'm a lover, and so on, you name it. So look at people holistically, and this is what I like and what I'm doing. And but there was a moment, a lot of moments where I'm really like, is this still aligned with me? And
Well, the fact that you had 3 strokes and you're still here means
Yes,
you have a big purpose on earth, right?
Absolutely.
And it's funny.
And I'm not taking any pills, by the way. Nothing. I do everything through food. This is where we always connect, because I know how nutrition, what it means to you, and so on, and healthy living, and be very conscious about yourself.
And you are a world-renowned face reader, which
Yes.
you don't have time to talk about today, though it's something you want to reach out to Sabine for, because it's so unique. I don't know anyone else who's able to see and help coach people as a life strategist using that tool. I have to tell you something funny, though. My husband, who knows you very well, he makes this joke, and he says, "Oh, Sabine's coming."
Turning away. Okay, that's my life. And the thing is, but yes, I use a technique maybe which is not that common. But sometimes, and this was a question actually for me behind the curtain as well, do they think I'm a freak? Because I'm very sensitive. I'm super sensitive to everything. Otherwise, I could not do what I'm doing. And there were network meetings, and let's be honest here, because this is why we are sitting here. I had moments where I was driving back home and I was crying because I felt not that I belong. And I remember the first time I went to HeartLink. Do you remember this? I was standing
at my house.
I was standing there, 60 women, and I'm like, okay, I'm the new one here. Everyone was hugging, super emotional. And
I think that's when we had 40 in my kitchen in the hallways.
Oh no, I think it was 60.
Not at my house.
It felt
that
like
way.
60. Really, and everyone was so welcoming. So I felt kind of at home, and this is what I try to give to my clients as well, to feel at home with me, because I see them truly for who they are. And this is what I'm looking forward in a network as well. And this is what I found in HeartLink, and where I could connect. So that's really important for me as well.
I agree with Sabine. Sabine was the one who introduced me to HeartLink, so I'm so grateful to you. And when I first entered HeartLink, actually it was Sabine who was hosting, because you had been away, and it felt like I was coming home. It really did, because everyone was so compassionate and kind and generous and open, and it was just a wonderful place. And you had been asking me for a while.
Yeah, that's true.
It's been like a year, and I'm like,
Thank you, Sabine.
No. But I'm so grateful to be here, and I understand why women come to HeartLink Network and why it's grown so much. I mean, meeting Mitch and Yola and all the other women, it's just a wonderful community where we really get to connect and now have authentic conversations and really talk about things that are important to us.
Well, thank you for saying that. It's the design. It just happened naturally, really. And I was talking earlier with you about just somehow knowing at an early age that people, women, want to be seen and connected with. And I noticed at a young age that meant more joy and confidence in people. And so I just started even in college. I founded an organization, and it was kind of a mini model of HeartLink. I would have entrepreneurs from the local community come in and speak to the students who were so they can learn skills and real life ways to be successful. So thank you for saying that. One of the things too is that I really want people in HeartLink Network to be themselves. I want everyone to walk into the room and be able to feel like they can be who they are. No pretenses, no fakeness, no dressing the part, but just really peel back those layers so that we can get to know you as a human being. That you behind your business is what is most important.
Yeah. I feel like there's a lot of heart in HeartLink.
Yeah.
And it truly is. There's something special because you can run across the same women. It's so amazing. The same women, because I go to multiple networking events like you do probably too. But when you come with the same people to HeartLink, the connection is different.
It is.
And from the day one when I walked in, it was just like this truly heart-centered organization. And what you were talking about, Caprice, about the women being there for women, right? Like connecting. And what I found is a lot of the coaching is that women are very lonely. A lot of moms, a lot of women are just very lonely. They have no girlfriends at all. And like if you look at moms' Facebook groups, you will find that they're just extremely lonely. When they're extremely lonely, they're very sad. When they're very sad, they get a divorce. But then now they have even less support. So, say it whichever way you like, but being in an organization like that, it helps your marriage, which is really funny, right?
Okay.
You would never think that. But being around other women,
true.
women need women. Men are more isolationists and they're okay with that. But women need other women.
And
Otherwise,
it's a really a lonely life as a CEO. Who gives you the compliment? Who pats you on the shoulder? Mitch, who is doing this for you? Who is supporting you? And
So I have a special place in my heart for HeartLink because it was my first networking organization I had been introduced to.
Wow.
And I can vividly remember going to my first meeting at our Eastvale chapter with my speech that I had handwritten because I had no idea how to present myself as a new entrepreneur. And I remember standing there just being so nervous and reading it. But when I would look up, there were ladies smiling. They didn't have to say anything. They just, with their eyes and, you got this. And the amount of support that I feel every time I go, whether it's Eastvale chapter or the OC chapter, it is genuine and it holds such a special place in my heart. And I'd like to think that it's Caprice and our chapter leader, Patty in Eastvale, who are providing that support that I need. And there are other women as well that have helped anchor my growth as an entrepreneur. But I find that through this process, I've not only grown as an entrepreneur, but I've grown as a person. And I've had to face certain things in my life that really needed to be addressed to be a better person and to be the best entrepreneur to help serve the people that are my clients. So I love HeartLink. It's home.
Yeah. And we do genuinely witnessing your growth from that first day has been exciting, and we're proud of you, and we love seeing you everywhere. You've grown so fast, and the belief in what you've created is so strong, and it's inspiring to all other entrepreneurs that want to start something like that. So you're a great example.
Thank you.
And you just won an award at the last HeartLink conference. So
I did, yes.
The Impact Award, our first one.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
So good. So good.
So I would love to know what is the something that you haven't said yet because you're a little afraid to say it out loud. I mean, it's a topic, but there's something in there that maybe you're thinking, should I say it? Should I not? What's another question that's really a burning one that you live with?
I think for me, because I founded a skincare business. For me, it's the beauty industry is ginormous. Yeah. My question is, do I belong? Why me? Why should I be able to tackle this mammoth of an industry? And I always circle back to because I can. Because I have 3 daughters that I want to inspire them to say, you know what, I'm going to do whatever I want to do. And it's going to be hard. And there's going to be work that's involved. But I can do it because I believe in myself.
So it's a legacy.
It is a legacy of empowerment, of my girls, and of course my boys. But there's a special motivation with wanting to help my girls see the power and the strength that they have inside. So that's.
And do you ask yourself sometimes, is it worth it?
Oh, all the time. Yeah. Because balancing being a mom, and I homeschool 4 of them. With being an entrepreneur and trying to be my best self for my husband, that question comes up frequently. Yeah. But I circle back to, if they see me work through this, if they see me develop, the grit and the strength to push through even when days are hard, then I hope that inspires them as they continue to get older.
What I've heard a lot during luncheons is like, who can I ask for help? And this community really helps with, like, this is why we always say, like, at the luncheon, like, turn around and then just, this could be your next best friend or someone like asking for an advice. You started with,
we always say that. I always say that being in person at a HeartLink Network event is a gift to yourself and everyone else in the room. And being there present just takes the relationship deeper so much faster. We've got all this luxury, and there are benefits to doing virtual because we get to meet people outside of our local area. It still isn't the same as how we can connect. And you told me it was recently at I'll tell the story about the holiday luncheon that we had, and you came to that.
Yes.
And there was another person that actually has been coming to HeartLink since it was in my family room many, many years ago. But due to conflicts and other reasons, she hadn't come for a long time. She's very intuitive, and she got called to attend that luncheon. She wasn't sure why. She almost didn't come, but she followed her heart and she came. And when she walked through the door, she saw Anne. And each other going way back.
We do. And I had not seen her in 7 years or so.
Wow.
And she turned around and said, Anne. I said, hi. I haven't seen you. Where have you been? And, she kind of told me where she'd been. And so we reconnected because of that luncheon. And to this day, now we're still in touch.
She almost didn't come. And she knew there was, and that wasn't the only reason. She said there was other reasons, but she was called to come. And that was, such a great reunion.
It was. So yes, wonderful women that I've met.
I have a question for you, Caprice. I know that HeartLink is growing a lot this year. So what is your motivation for growing right now? Or is it sometimes like, I should grow? Where does the motivation comes from?
It's inherent. It's in the subconscious. It's been there for a long time. Yeah. It's in the heart. I joke that one of the reasons that I do this is selfish, because I have 2 brothers and 3 sons. So HeartLink Network is the sisterhood that I never had. And so that's the selfish reasons. I've just always, I love being in community with women. I love watching people grow.
Yes.
I love just seeing the interactions and seeing what comes out of it. And it really brings me a lot of joy. Does that mean that it's easy? No, there's been hard decisions. It's sometimes I question myself. Sometimes I have to pivot. You were talking earlier about mistakes. Do we really make any mistakes? We make decisions. And sometimes the decision doesn't go exactly how we had hoped. And then we just, say, okay, that was a good learning lesson, like you said, and then we try again. And so it really is something that brings me a ton of joy. It always has. So you asked why now?
Yeah.
I've been leading women's networking events. I think I skipped 2 months, other than when you stepped in for me when my dad was ill that year. I only missed 2 months in the last 17 years.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
One was my son's graduation, and the other one we had a pipe leak, and it was in my home. So I've been consistent, committed. I've stood behind my word. You know, women can count on me to create that space for them and help them grow. In the first 14 years, I was in an organization that someone else created. And I'm so grateful for that person for giving me that opportunity. I saw it and I grabbed it, and for teaching me, for being a mentor, for giving me that space to create this. Fast forward, that organization was no longer. And that's when I decided to found a brand new organization called HeartSeat Network Women. So it took that whole process of learning and experience that I gained and reputation to get to a point that I was able to create my own. And then it's taken the last few years to build the platforms. To, you know, I'm a woman of my word. I want to always under promise and over deliver. So that's taken time. And it's always been a dream to have a podcast like this, a TV show. Since I went to the Ted Turner Network fake newsroom and paid to be recorded and read the teleprompter. And so now's the time, because we built that platform. We have a membership now, and we have amazing women, some of which are in this room. All of you are members. Thank you. And we're going to be expanding chapters next year, seeking high integrity, heart forward leaders. I call it heart forward. Your heart's in front. And women who also have strategy. You can't have a business successful with strategy and no heart and purpose. And you can't have a successful business with heart and purpose and no strategy.
Correct.
So those are the kinds of leaders and members we're looking for, because when we move forward in business like that and we're growing, that's when we can also really count on one another. And again, we rise in HeartSeat Network Women because we're choosing to rise together.
So I know, because I work a lot with entrepreneurs, that money is always a topic. So asking for a pricing where you feel comfortable with, where you think like, I'm worth it. Were there times in one of your years where you said like, oh, I should charge more, but I feel still like emotional about it, you know, and so on. So if anyone
That's a good question.
One of the instances that occurred was during COVID, actually. So everyone was obviously at home, and people were obviously very unwell. And the question was, what do I charge these people? How do I charge them? Do I charge them? You know, and I'm thinking, well, this is my time. It's my energy, and they're seeking information. So I am going to charge them, because the first thing I said was, well, I should give it as a pro bono, you know, just.
Yeah.
But then I decided, no, they really, it's as if they were going to seek a therapist or a consultant or someone. So I did charge. And then it increased more and more and more during the years. And I felt comfortable with that because more people were interested and they were seeking the information that they needed to live longer and stay healthier. And so, but in the beginning, it was difficult. It was
especially during that time.
During that time.
Because you want to be giving and helping people during a time that was really tough.
Yes.
At the same time, they're going to go seek that information somewhere else where they're charging for it.
Correct.
And sometimes if you don't charge, they don't see the value.
Exactly.
I've seen that over and over again. So they have to be committed to, I'm willing to pay and get the value.
Correct.
If they don't pay, I've learned that time and time again, both in wellness and my business, that if they don't pay, they don't have skin in the game.
Exactly.
So it's a form of self-respect as well, to say like, hey, I'm worth it, you know. So Yola, you have a husband, and he is a very successful surgeon. Were there any times, I was just wondering, where you say like, I feel not as worthy because I do not bring the same money home? Yeah, well, was there a time?
Yes, there was a time. And I remember my mom saying, I wish you had married a construction worker so then you would feel more worthy, because I had such a low self-esteem.
That's hard to believe.
Yeah, it was truly destroying my marriage because I was constantly competing with him, because he was working hard, I was working hard. He was bringing this much money. I was like, he worked 10 hours, I would work 10 hours. He would come from work and say, oh my gosh, I'm exhausted, I worked so hard. I'm like, well, I worked 10 hours too. And I realized later on that it wasn't truly about me bringing the amount of money that I thought to have to catch up and keep up with him, but it was actually me being his partner and his support, that together we can rise versus compete with each other. And that's what's changed a lot for me, was that when I even started coaching, he was just so supportive. Even though when you start coaching, you don't make any money. You actually drain all the savings, right? And he was there. He was supporting me. He was just like, you know what, you're going to do what you're going to do. And then because he did that, I could turn around and come back to the business and work with him again. But I've grown so much. And I realized that if I put the same amount of work and effort into plastic surgery, obviously financially makes so much more sense, but I still get to support the women that I want to support. So one does not preclude the other, which before I thought it was this or that.
Correct.
But in reality, you can do both, right? I can inspire women, I can talk, I can share, I can bring the same heart that I brought to my coaching to the plastic surgery world. Because women feel so many times invisible. They feel like it's just a number. But what if we can see people holistically, right? Like we were talking earlier, to see the person when you feel seen, you feel heard, you feel understood, and now you can support each other and grow and get whatever you need to get. You know?
Such great points. I imagine that a lot of women who are getting plastic surgery aren't doing it for themselves. They're doing it for their husband. And so if you come into the picture, you can help any of those kind of women realize that, you know, they do it for themselves.
Yeah, the saddest
with
part,
your coaching.
The saddest part is that they come many times after, when they're teeing up for divorce or right after divorce, but there's no need for that because they're doing it for self-worth, right? Or now they have to go on the market and look for a man, which in reality they don't realize they had a great man alongside them.
all along.
They just couldn't see it.
Yeah.
So I help them see it. So I usually say, you know, you come to me for coaching, get the, you know, and you come to my husband for the plastic surgery. You don't have to do it from a place of guilt, from a place of lack of self-worth. You do it because you want to feel great. Right? You want to feel amazing. You want to dress up and you want to feel good. And that's what I think women need to understand more, that it's not the husband, it's them taking care of themselves, for themselves.
But I know a lot of women who are afraid of increasing pricing by like, oh, I will lose all my clients. So did you went through that and increased the pricing and said like, okay, I lost out of 10, I lost 5, but I gained 3 others. What were your experience on that?
I think with that, what it comes down to is if someone feels that the price is too high, then they're not your people. And you want to be surrounded by the people who support you, support your product, and support the cause. And if they don't align with the price that you pay for your product, then you just say thank you, and then you keep moving on. And the people who will support you, who value the product, they'll show up.
And we all know as entrepreneurs what we invest in our businesses.
Yes.
And so I've realized that, because I mean, there's times I've done things for less, and over time, it's probably going to be, you know, increasing, or certain things always increase in our portfolios. And I don't say this to people necessarily, but in my head, I realize that, boy, you know, if you do the numbers, this is what it's worth. And you have to cover your costs and then some. You have to bring money to support your family and reinvest in your business. And you can't do that if you're undercutting your pricing. So if you just know the numbers and you believe in yourself, then you can feel really confident about what you're charging. And like you said, the right people will show up.
I remember I was speaking to my friend coach who just graduated from the same program, and she was charging us so low, like the lowest I could ever see. And I asked her, like, why do you charge so little? I mean, it doesn't make sense. I can't even send people to you because they won't feel like they're getting good value.
Right.
Because really, when I'm like, how do I do that? She was like, well, I want to be affordable so more people can afford to come to me. I'm like, okay, so you want to be affordable, but how are you going to continue to coach if you can't put, bread on the table?
Exactly.
Like, how are you going to do that? You're going to have to be out of business.
And this is the moment where they really not burn out, but really where the health get affected as a coach. You always have to find the balance. I mean, we all had our health struggles.
Isn't money also a correlation of our self-worth?
Yeah,
How we
I
value
think that.
right?
So this is why I said it. I know a lot of entrepreneurs who are like correlating. I make this much, so I'm this worth. You know,
Absolutely.
and one of my biggest learning with what I'm doing is I cannot help everyone.
Correct.
And that was really hard for me. I have to say, oh my God, that was so hard to say like, hey, no, I have to take care of myself. And I have a similar journey like you, and where you really have to take care of your health. And now it's okay that I say like, hey, no, we had an appointment, but I'm not 150% today. Can we postpone it? I'm always very honest with my clients and they love it. They're oh yeah, of course. Yeah, no worries. We postpone and so on, because if I show up, I'm 150%. And to find the balance. I mean, you had to find the balance between.
Absolutely. Boundaries are necessary.
Yeah.
I think especially in business, right? So for me, my journey began like 32 years ago when I've had, an ectopic pregnancy that ended up having a bowel obstruction and 9 surgeries later.
Yeah.
I have an unconventional family. Adoption was my option.
Yeah.
Which was wonderful because I wasn't able to have children. And so for me, after being dysfunctional for 10 or 12 years, going back in the workforce was scary. Imagine not working. I started out in a Fortune 500 company at 23 years old, doing very well. And then at 26, it all disappeared. So my identity was gone. Who was I? Who am I?
Yeah.
And then after 10 years, getting back into what's next. So I had to really dig deep into where do I go from here? And so wellness seemed natural because I was healing myself. And therefore, my master at the time said, now that you've healed yourself, now you can heal others.
Yeah.
And so that was one of the avenues I ended up. And then, of course, the imposter syndrome. Who am I to think that I'm a, instructor and then educator and then, practitioner. And now I'm an advocate for women. But you know what? I put the time and effort and the years into that.
I
and
can
setting the
relate to that,
boundaries to where I am today. Is yes, I am proud and I am alive and I have a purpose and I'm here to share with everyone here at HeartLink Women that we get to be grateful for our breath, for being alive, for being here and allowing us to share and leave an impact and leave a legacy for all women and children and the community in the world. So for me, it was always health. Without your health, you have no wealth.
Yeah.
Without your health, you have no wealth. And so self-care is an act of self-love.
Yes.
Absolutely.
First and foremost. And the question is, do we love ourselves enough to take care of ourselves?
Yeah.
And again, do we love ourselves?
Yeah.
Right? Loving yourself. So yes, the boundaries were huge for me, setting those boundaries.
Am I good enough? I'm a certificate collector. It's literally like this. It's
And a real human's better than ChatGPT.
Still, yes.
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 absolutely.
What happens when I'm not healthy? Then what? Then do people look at me? Do they think that, okay, she's not healthy? Why is she talking about health and wellness, right?
Thank you for joining us on the Heart Seat. If today's conversation offered clarity or sparked something meaningful for you, please share it with entrepreneurs ready to build lasting success, the kind created with purpose at the center and heart in the lead, or with anyone who could use a dose of positivity and hope for a brighter future. For deeper connection, resources, and community, visit heartlinknetwork.com. We'll see you on the next episode of The Heart Seat.